Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Rod.
And I am Kyle, aka Bravado.
And welcome back to Rants About Gaming. I'm definitely excited to look at this video. It was suggested by one of my subscribers on the channel, Blackout. And he basically told us that we should react to the new updates. And we thought that was an awesome idea. So we're giving like a rookie adventurer's impressions, first take on Star Citizen updates. What do you think?
Well, we're definitely rookies at the game, and I'm really enjoying my time there. But what I'm not a rookie at is ranting and raving about games. So let's see what these developers have to say, because I know I'm a little crucial at times while we're playing. Sometimes it shows on the videos. Most of the time it doesn't, and it's really frustrating. Right. I understand the game's in alpha, and I understand like this and that, but any update really is a blessing and long awaited. So I don't know. I'm super excited to see what they have coming.
Yeah. So in this update, this is the update 3.2 or 3.23 update. So we've been playing on 3.22 right now. I think. But yeah, I think it's it's alpha, so things are going to be happening. But I'm super excited to see what they're talking about as far as what's to come, and maybe even we can talk about, or maybe they're going to talk about some of the bugs they're going to fix as well.
Oh yeah,
for kind of what you were talking about. Yeah. So let's get right into it.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited to see what they have coming. I mean,
absolutely.
I did hear that it's going to be a huge update, but that's all I really heard. I tried to keep myself away from all the spoilers.
I was going to start with that. Good morning, Star Citizen. He was just waving me off. Hi, everybody. We're back.
Wow.
Well, hi.
Welcome to Star Citizen
Okay,
Live.
this is Jared Huckabee.
I'm your host.
Huckabee.
Jared.
What is his role?
We just talked about that. We just talked about that. And if you've never seen
he's
Star Citizen
he's a
Live
community
before,
dude.
So we take about an hour at the end of our week, and we
I thought you
chat
said
with a few of
comedian.
the developers who make Star Citizen and Squadron 42 possible.
A commuter.
On this week's show, we are changing things.
I haven't watched any of these in a long time.
Generally speaking,
the last time I watched one of these, like he looked a lot different. It was like
what we call this
all about almost 10 years ago, maybe.
It is, show.
Do you think it's the stress of developing the best space game ever?
He your questions about all the things
no, he looks more distinguished. Not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Your experience.
I've never seen one of these.
Through PTU, and it's all
this ain't MySpace, Mortals MySpace.
You guys get to ask questions, and we pose right to the people, put them on the hot seat. We're not doing any of that today. We are changing the formula. We are at the beginning of this journey to Alpha 323. We've all come back from our holidays. We've done the typical regroup and engineering planning for the next patch. We also do our yearly performance reviews.
Just a lot of this, where we're listening to. That we let's only react to the things that we're interested in, so I'll know how to cut it up.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to cut all this part out.
And then we begin this journey towards our next big patch. Because this patch is built very differently than previous patches before. It's going to showcase a whole lot of what you saw, showcased at CitizenCon. We thought we'd do it differently.
I didn't go to CitizenCon.
I think the CitizenCon video is actually the video that Blackout was talking about. But we're here for this, so let's do this.
I can look it up real quick.
This road. And
no, we can take a look at that later.
Joining me today first is a friend of the show, somebody we haven't had on either of our shows in quite some time. You've got a new title since the last time we had it, so I'm going to have you do it because I didn't think to ask you what your title was before we started. Johnny Jasivius. Johnny, how you doing, man?
Hello. Do you want to guess what my title is?
Who's this guy?
I don't know. About to find out.
Design director.
Got it in one.
Did I get it?
Yeah, you did.
Congratulations on the promotion, man.
Thank you very much.
He's from across the pond.
So,
that CitizenCon's like 6 hours.
What does the Citizen Design Director do?
Oh, wow.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get a recap.
Essentially, I am cross-project on both.
And I think that's what most of these videos are.
Itself, so I essentially run the design teams that we've got, which includes mission design, economy design, system design, technical design. So all of those teams report to me, and we all work
That's the
together as
thing,
one
there,
big
man.
team.
There is no economy.
We also work with a lot of the other teams, obviously people like Ian Leyland and his art team, a lot of people that we've had on
I
here
think
before.
they're
But
still
essentially,
working on
I'm
those
working with everyone in the company,
behind
more or
the
less,
scenes.
to try and
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
hit the
Like on
vision that we're trying to
other
hit.
versions of the game.
Folks who've been watching our Star
Yeah,
System
yeah.
programming for years now, remember you were part of the FPS Systems design team. When you went over to Squadron,
cool skin he
with
has
that
on that
big
laptop, though.
migration.
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah, I really like
2.5,
that.
3 years
And
ago.
his little
2 to
cup
3,
there,
yeah.
that little bird.
You
Yeah.
went
I
away
like
to
his
Squadron,
background, though,
hunkered
for
down
real.
and worked on
Like
the,
that
all
window.
these features in,
This whole set
Yeah.
is really nice.
Oh, dude, I didn't
Wyatt,
even
that's
notice
something
the
along
chef
with it.
and
Muppet.
now we're bringing all these
Yeah.
things back, adding to the already existing.
I wish I wish I had a
team and
room
work
like
up the
that.
Star Citizen development team to make.
Oh, look at
Alpha
that ship on the
323 and
bookcase.
beyond.
Yep.
Or the
So
book
we're going
holder.
to jump right into it. So we
Well,
are
those
gonna,
not- those aren't books, those
we're gonna
Oh,
talk
wait,
about
is that the
those are
C8R?
cassettes.
I think that's the C8R.
I think so.
Alpha
It's
Yeah.
either the R
No,
or
I
the X.
don't know if it's. I don't know if it's.
Before we go into the rest
it
of the
might
show,
be the X.
It's definitely the
I
C8
want
actually-
to talk about
model.
what that word targeted means.
Those are actually cassettes
These are
you
the
have in
things
there.
that the
in that
various
little holder.
programming and engineering teams, the art
You see that?
teams,
Those are
design teams,
cassettes.
these are the features that they're all working
Showing your
towards
age
and
there, Jared.
expected to have delivered
Word.
for Alpha 323. We all know, because we've been doing this for a while, that sometimes a thing slips, it gets to a go, no go, it doesn't quite make the go, so like that. So this is not a exhaustive list of everything that will come. There are also some surprises. There are also some things that we've designated surprises, things we want you to discover on your own when you log into PTU for that first time. So we're not going to cover everything that we're intending to put into 323, but we're going to cover a pretty exhaustive list. And we're going to start with the stuff that we talked about.
Well,
yesterday
that's what I
in
was.
Inside
I
Star
don't know.
Citizen.
I was going to be a little
We came
critical
back on
there.
Inside Star Citizen yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. New EVA. So new EVA.
Okay,
is
can I pause
coming along
before
pretty
he starts
well.
with this?
Yeah.
So he's saying that we have a lot to look forward to. He's not going to discuss everything that's coming, this, that, and the other, and how things get approved and get disapproved. And it's almost like one day it's a no-go and the next is it's a go. At least that's how I took it. Like, we can watch it back or whatever to get his exact phrasing, or you, the viewer, can go back and maybe I'm interpreting that wrong. But it's been like 15 years. You know, it's their own engine. It's an epic game. It's a massive game, this and that. But the way they're making it sound, it's going to be like the biggest update ever. You know, it's going to be like one of the massive updates. And I don't think, does this have a release date at all? Because
I'm not sure, but that's something I'm sure they'll either get to mentioning at some point, or we can look it up.
Okay,
But
hopefully they mention it, because right now,
Yeah.
like right now, it all sounds. It's like I said, they're hyping it up like it's their biggest update, and they're about to get into the EVA system, which is like how you float around in space. If you wanna post a clip of me floating around in space when you came to rescue me at fucking 7 a.m. But but yeah, so he's about to talk about the EVA systems. But what I'm worried about, my first initial honest reaction, what I'm worried about is all of this blowing smoke. Like, if there's no release date on it and they have all these big plans and it's the biggest update ever, it's been 10 years. Maybe longer. How long is it going to take for this patch? You know?
Yeah, but see, you might be premature on that, because if later on in the show he says it's coming out next week, then you're gonna be like, okay, I just complained for no reason.
No. Well, why are you saying it's a complaint? I'm not complaining. I'm just wondering.
Oh,
I'm just being
well,
cautious with it. If anything, I'm being cautious because.
Good point. Maybe I used the wrong word on that.
Yeah,
But what I meant is just that if it turns out that it is coming out next week, then your frustration would have been misplaced.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just cautious about him, like about this company continuing blowing smoke. By no means are they a scam. By no means is this game a scam. You want to talk about a scam? Check out the day before in that fail of a game. But yeah,
I just think anytime you criticize the game, it's an uphill battle, only because a couple of reasons. the thing, it's a catch-22. It's alpha, and that's all anyone really has to say. And then you, at that point, you're just like, okay, well, I'm complaining about it. Well, not complaining, but
Yeah, being
I'm
critical.
bringing up points about being critical of a game that's an alpha, and things will change, and they will change a lot. And that's just something I think, you know, you have to, I guess, buy into.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
like we're paying to be alpha testers. My the
yeah.
my whole talking point and like to just cut the fat short or to trim the fat or whatever. My whole talking point is if this doesn't have a release date, how long do you think it's going to be for them to release an update? Because they have a long release time between their patch notes, from what I've experienced. And, you know, by no means am I like hardcore deep into the community to really have an opinion at all. But I'm just curious to how long it's going to be for them to get this patch up because they're hyping it up as the biggest patch, you know? Um, you have any more?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know what big is. Big is always relative, right? So
Yeah.
whatever they decide to do, um, people will decide when it's released, you know, if it is indeed the biggest patch they've ever released.
Yeah.
But as far as blowing smoke, come on, man.
No.
This is America. Capitalists are going to blow smoke.
Yeah, yeah.
That marketing is the tool of money right now. It's like
Yeah.
everything is in marketing, so they gotta blow smoke. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this dude's job right here. His whole job is to come up with new ways to blow smoke that it doesn't look like smoke. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm just I'm just worried that it's gonna take too long to come out. You know, like because we all want it quick, and but the longer they take, the more chance they
You
have of
mean
doing it right.
the patch or
Yeah,
the actual game?
the patch,
Oh, okay. I'm about to
this
say you're gonna be
patch.
waiting a decade or more for the
No,
game.
yeah,
Yeah, the patch.
this patch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully they get to that. Hopefully they get to that.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna hit play.
First started capturing for ISC, we still had to be in squadron builds for a little bit because it was just getting integrated into the Precision universe. By the time we went live, it had begun its integration into the Star Citizen universe. How's EVA doing?
Really good. Obviously, there's still work to do. Obviously, a big proponent of that is.
Sure, for all we know, they might not have nothing in this patch we even care about. And at that point, who cares when it comes out?
No, EVA is
there
definitely
are,
going to be in
you
this
know,
patch.
unique
Like I
challenges
said,
that
they're
come with
hyping it up
things
like
in
they have
the
a lot of
Persistent universe
patch,
and
and
stuff.
this whole video is
So,
based on this patch.
yeah, it's looking really good. And obviously, the guys yesterday, if you missed the ISC, they did a very, very good job of explaining the systems. But I'll kind of give a quick summary of that. Basically, you know, how we felt previously about the old EVA system is that it wasn't really up to scratch. The player experience and just the feel of the movement wasn't really as responsive and as basically
I didn't
easy
mind
to use as we.
I don't mind the
want.
EVA
So,
system as it stands right now.
as the
Neither-
game's evolving,
neither
like,
do
we're
I.
going into these
Like I was
environments
floating
where
in
we're
space
making
for
tighter
2
turns,
hours.
we're
I
going
can
through
move around
refuges,
just
we're
fine.
trying to do things like that.
But then
That old
again,
EVA system, because
I
you're
guess-
flying around so upright, you kind of have a silhouette of movement that's kind of like my forearm here. But if you think about it now, because we're going into what we've kind of called the Iron Man pose internally, where you're kind of leaning forward, your arms are down by your side, your silhouette is more like this. So you're facing directly forwards. And what that means is,
So
obviously, if
like
you're
the
going through tight
animation.
spaces, it's a lot easier. When you're rotating, you're no longer rotating like this, you're kind of more rotating like this, so you can fit through those gaps easier, and you're not bumping into things quite as often.
See, that's another
And then
thing.
on top of
Yeah,
that, if
we
you're
never
flying
really
through,
floated
you're
through a
almost
ship
mirroring a bit
wreckage
like
on
That's true,
space.
that's
flag
true.
motion,
Yeah,
and obviously
that's
you can
true.
kind of
We
fit
gotta
all
do-
sorts
We
of
wouldn't know
deck
that
gaps
little
and turns
caveat.
and
Yeah,
things like
we gotta do some
A lot
space
of the
missions
comments,
for the
that we saw
security.
on, in YouTube
Absolutely.
and on Spectrum and on Reddit had to do with it seemed like the next logical step might be like little rockets on the boots, little rocket boots
In our
to help
little
propel
rocket
you,
ship.
little jetpacks, maybe even an animation to do the Christopher Reeve, Superman thing. Are any of these being considered?
In the future, we want
That's gonna
to
look
put,
badass
with
some
more
dual
emphasis
pistols.
on basically picking equipment that
Yeah,
allows
I
you
think
to
that's a
EVA
good
better. So
idea
that might
too,
be in the
because
form
every
of,
space
say,
movie, I
EVA
was thinking about it just
jetpacks,
now.
not
Most
jetpacks,
every
but
space movie
EVA
that I
backpacks
saw,
and things like that.
hold on, I don't want to miss nothing. Every space movie that you see, when they're EVAing, they are vertical. They're not, not vertical. They're horizontal. Is that right?
Yeah, they're laying down rather than
Yeah,
standing
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. Whatever that word is. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I guess they do got a point there cuz
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I said, we've never flown EVA through wreckage or through a ship that we destroyed because we haven't got to that point in the game to like
Yeah,
really
true.
experience those systems. But I can see how
Yeah,
that could be clunky though
There
absolutely.
might
when
be
you're
Yeah,
just
with
straight up and
more
down.
yeah, yeah. I definitely feel you on that. And
Yeah.
it definitely, and it made total sense when he said it too.
Yeah.
EVA fuel because that's something we want to do down the line. More
Oh
oxygen and
no.
things like that for existing in spaces where there's no
Oh
atmosphere for
boy.
you to be able to breathe. And
Space ain't deadly
essentially,
enough. Make it
looking
deadlier.
into that preparation phase that we've talked about before, where you're making considerations that, hey, I want to be like a EVA salvager. I'm going to equip myself with the things that are going to be able to get me there. But until we get other features in, like we showed yesterday, we showed the zero-G push-pull. That's not coming in 323. No. And some of these systems we're holding back because we wouldn't really want to implement EVA fuel without having systems like zero-G push-pull, because otherwise you might be sat in the middle of space, run out of fuel, you've got no options.
You also need to build places to refuel.
100%,
stuff
yes.
like that,
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought that
Well,
up. We try to be very
Can't you
deliberate in our
refuel at
storytelling. We
stations
said,
at like
this
the
is
mining
coming in Alpha
facilities and
323,
package
and then
pickups?
further down the line,
They
there's
mean
the,
when
there's
you're
the
out in space
traversal,
in the
there's
EVA.
the
Oh,
zero-G
okay,
traversal
okay.
where you're climbing on the hands. There's the fuel. We changed the work in progress graphic to say, this stuff is the 323. This stuff is not the 323.
Yeah.
We changed the music. Some folks, who maybe get their news from other
The music's
rewatches or whatever,
really good.
missed that EVA
Yeah.
is 323,
Yep.
but the zero-G traversal, that crawling along the hands, and the fuel stuff is not 323. That is down the line.
down the line, yeah.
Because of those reasons you just mentioned, we got to build
Yep.
these other systems out
Yep.
to accommodate them in a multiplayer environment.
Yes.
You can kind of gloss. You have other solutions in a single-player game. The mission ends and stuff like this, but.
Clear your throat. It's bothering me.
And then, of course, networking. Networking is going to be the challenge for all.
Get this man a glass of water.
There isn't just a make multiplayer button.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like he's
over.
fucking
The guy
chugged
that
a
works
beer
for-
and had a
works
pack
for
of
while I-
smokes this morning for breakfast.
I want to shout out.
He said, "I want some wild turkey in my coffee. Make it a double."
They do
Like,
amazing
dude, clear
stuff.
that shit. Come
There's
on.
the alpha game that you play, and then there's the PTU.
Dude, I ain't
That's got
gonna
a
lie
certain
though.
level of bugginess.
Like when I stream and
We're not-
stuff,
there's no
and
reason
I
to
stream
lie
for
about
like
it.
more than 3
There's the
hours, I'm
PTU
talking that much.
has
Mine gets the same way.
A certain level of bugginess.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
I
there's
get
Evo
it. I'm just
Cotty that
saying.
has so much bugginess, we NDA it, and then there's where these guys work. So the effort that they put into getting those EVA shots,
He
when
cleared
they were
it,
still
'cause it doesn't sound
working
bad
on
now.
Yeah.
networking and stuff, was a truly.
So what he just said
amazing
is,
effort. And I want to shout out
these
Will,
guys-
Dave, and Alex for their work on that right there.
Of course, they
We
work at the
also-
bottom of the
let's move
fucking
on
ladder
to,
because they're building the system. So
personal
there's 3
interaction
stages.
experience or player
So what I can
interaction
take from
system.
that real quick.
I'm not going to use the acronym.
Sorry, it's just real quick. He's just talking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's his job. So what he's saying is, what I gathered from that real quick is they go through 3 phases of introducing a new system. They have the guys on the bottom that's building the system. Then they go through evac or whatever he just called it, where there's so much bugginess that either they push it through or they deny it and make them like fix the bugs and whatnot. Then they put it through the PTU, which is where we come in to test the systems on their private test universe. Then after the PTU, it comes live. So there's essentially 3 phases of testing that they go through before they can push a patch or push a system through.
You sure?
Gotcha.
And the default item actions.
I'm not trying to make our reaction longer than it needs
Where
to
did
be,
this
but
come
I'm
from?
trying to like
Because I-
actually
No,
follow
no,
around.
this is
We were
what
working
that's what we're
towards
here
inner
for.
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
And all this other stuff. I know we talked a little bit
Yeah.
about it at CitizenCon, but where in the development of Squadron 42 did that change? Did we realize we needed this other approach?
Yeah, so obviously we had an interaction system that has evolved a couple of times, right? And it evolves
Oh, he got a
through
bottle of water.
necessity and where the game's at.
He got-
and
he
where
got
we
his little
feel like it
Stanley
needs to
cup.
go. So we
He
used
ready.
to just have the super plain interaction system. You remember the old use thing that was in the middle of the screen? And it used to just be, looking back on that now, it was quite inappropriate because you would hit use and hope that it was the correct action that it did. Is it going to pick it up? Is it going to open it? Is it going to close it? What's going to happen? So that obviously wasn't very clear. And as the game evolved and the items and the way you interact with the items got more,
They're talking about the focus system now. It
kind of
seems.
depth, and you could do 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different things with the same item. The necessity came to basically have a selection there. So that's basically where we ended up with the system that is currently in stasis. And
I like
where
it
we've got
though.
the list. Now,
yeah.
obviously, playing
I
with
like
that for such a long time,
it is a
we
little buggy
eventually got
because
to a
if there's
point
more
where
than
we were
one
saying,
item around
we
you,
could definitely
it's
do
hard to
better
click
here,
on
and
what
it's
you want to
something we've
click on.
achieved for quite a
But
while. So that's where
I don't know why they
the
couldn't use a
experience
static
comes in, where
menu.
We are now condensing this down into
They're
one
trying to do
single
something
use action.
different.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
unlike the old
I get
use
it,
action,
but
you get a
hopefully they
verb that
talking
essentially
about
tells you
fixing
what
it a
is
little bit.
They just need to make it more
and that
stable,
also ties into default item actions. So
like
I can
not
look
let
at all
it
of these
jitter
items on your
around.
desk, right?
You
All
know,
of them
because
might be very
it
different from each other.
it's
Your
like
laptop might be like the old
using your
school
mouse
use
as your
action, which
eyes,
would
and
tell
your
me that
mouse
I'm
is
probably gonna
going
hop
through
down
6
and click
objects to
on the
click on
laptop.
what you want to click
That
on.
folder there might be more like a pickup action or an inspect action if it's something that's like a data pad, if there's an iPad on the table or something like that. And that allows us
There
to
is
basically
no
look at
need
all of
to
these different
inspect
item types that
anything.
we've got in data and say, this
I've
is
never
what
inspected
we think
anything.
the default item action for this thing should be. But again, in ISC, something really cool that we showed off is the ability to customize that as well. So we're not getting rid of all of the big list of actions that we previously had that were quite difficult to navigate through, especially in like situations like combat. Combat is obviously something that we've seen a lot of in Squadron.
Hold on, I'm in the middle of a fight. Let me go through this long list of things here while I'm getting shot.
Yeah, you can envision how that generally goes. And again, through the game evolving comes the necessity to change it, right? So
That's going to be pretty cool.
Go. I just want to pick it up and use it, right? But as I was saying, yeah, we're not getting rid of all of the other actions that you can do with the items. It's just that they are tucked away behind a wheel. For the people who want to customize this experience or use the other interactions on specific items, it's all there, and it's in a slightly cleaner format with the wheel, so you're not accidentally clicking something on a condensed list that we used to have.
Some of the comments we saw again.
Okay,
on,
that's super exciting.
on
That's
YouTube,
pretty
Spectrum
cool.
and whatnot, was that as you looked around,
You can select a customized
is that going to happen every
customized
single
default
time?
action. So if you hit the key once,
Yeah, so basically like you can customize that little window so it'll have what you want defaultly and that's best for you. That's kind of cool too.
yeah, like how
I can't hear you. You're going out.
if you want to do something else with that, I imagine you have to hold F or F right click to pull up a list of different actions. So you can set your own custom.
Yeah, you're going in. If you can you hear
Yeah,
me?
that's going to be super awesome. That's super cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can now.
You're going in and out, on me.
I
I'm
am
not sure. Yeah.
in a chord or something. Is it better or
Yeah.
okay?
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
A player looks around at everything.
Hello?
Is that a toggleable thing?
So we've spent a lot of time tuning that, so it's picking out the important items, the large items. Basically, we've got a system that essentially finds out where your focus is. So again, we have played with this a lot. If the F moving around on all these different items got annoying, it would annoy us too, because we played the game so much as well. So we're at a point now where we feel like the F selection is very, very clear and easy to use. And the selection itself isn't, we're no longer, like if I was here right now and I had moved my focus to your laptop, but I was too far away to actually use the laptop, it would prioritize the closest thing that is still in the focus. It's actually a very smart system. So yeah, we don't get annoyed by it at all. And for the people who actually like to use it, the interaction system's still there. So you can still
Oh damn! I have a safety call.
interact with them. If you really need to do fine control, I'm sifting through this guy's stuff that's
You
on
wanna
his
pause?
armor, or I've got loads of clutches on
No.
the desk
How
I might
about
have,
I just
can
mute
still
my
very
mic and when I
fine,
want to talk, I
have
talk.
a fine selection of what I want to interact
Okay.
with.
And of
But I'll
course,
just mute my
you know,
mic to reduce background
like
noise.
everything here, this will continue to iterate after 323.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think we're telling any tales out of school. 323 is not going to be the final version of any of these features. That, you know, this game continues to iterate and continues to evolve. You know, you got a balance for the Squadron 42 universe. Putting it into Persistent Universe, we might discover a PU location where it does get a little crazy, and you know, adjustments have to be made. That's part of development.
Yep.
Like this. So that's what we covered yesterday. So now let's go into formally announcing some other things that we're working towards. Distribution centers. Distribution centers, which we've shown off. I think we first introduced the idea of them at CitizenCon 2 years ago. We revisited them at the CitizenCon last year. I think we did a Journey to 4.0 special somewhere in the middle. They blurred together. People.
I want to see that, the Journey to 4.0. I think that'd be cool.
Distribution centers are now fully on track to come in
they have a
Alpha
roadmap up.
323. What can you tell me about what players can expect?
Okay, so just as a bit of background, the distribution centers are these massive facilities. They truly are really big, that are down on the surface of planets and moons and things like that. And they kind of are what they sound like, right? It's a center of distribution. Like, there are lots of landing pads. There should be it should be a big hub of activity, basically. And there are a lot of different areas of the distribution
Making
centers
space trucking more efficient.
So
That's what
the
I'm
exterior,
understanding.
Typically where people will be landing their ship, unloading cargo, things like that. You've got the offices up top, which is generally more of a front
Yeah, it
for
sounds
whatever
like
business or corporation has
hubs,
ownership of this
you know what I mean?
place.
Just a
And then you've
city.
kind
Yeah,
of got
like
more of the inner workings,
instead of us
where
going
you
to a
typically
mine
expect to see cargo
and
being
running in a
ferried.
bunker,
If there's
we
machinery
actually
that
have
is
like
producing stuff down there, making
a
something,
warehouse
then
to
that
go
would be where
to.
that sort of
That's what they
down.
sound like,
So
Maybe like
warehouses
what we're
or
trying to
production factories.
provide for
They sound like those smaller space stations that are in space, but on
some variety between
land.
the
Oh
different
yeah, that's a good.
distributions.
Yeah,
So
that's
slightly different
yeah.
layouts between the different distribution
That's a good way
centers,
to
so
look
they all
at it
feel
too,
a little
yeah.
bit different from each other. Have different factions at each of these places as well, which should give a very different feeling of what you're going to be doing there. So, just as an example, and we talked about this recently, is you might have a law-abiding faction there, and typically you would be doing what you would expect to at a law-abiding place, where you would be trading, talking to people, things like that, all above board. If you're a pirate, you can obviously come and attack and cause trouble, but they might have security systems made to deal with you. You might also have a hostile faction that's take over one of these things that a corporation maybe previously.
I'm
had,
hearing
they
a
came in
lot
and
of
took
what
over,
ifs
and that would
there.
be a very
I'm gonna call
combat-focused
you
area
Todd.
for you
I
to go
forget your
play.
name.
And then you might have some
You look
different
like a
difficulties.
Todd. I'm
So
hearing a lot of what
you
ifs,
go
not a
in,
lot
the
of what
front
is.
is very professional,
I hear you.
business-like, but underneath, if you go a little bit deeper, you might find that they're up to no good.
So,
And I don't think these distribution centers are coming in 3.23.
Ultimately, for the content we want to provide,
I think this is something that's
distribution
even
centers
further
have
down the
a lot of
road.
possibility, and there's no way that we're
Well,
going to provide all of the content.
I think
that
you
we
said
want
that.
to
Yeah,
drop.
this.
But we definitely want you interacting.
That's gonna be in this patch?
there,
Yeah,
doing
this
cargo
whole
missions,
everything mentioned in
potentially
the stream is supposed to be in this
basic,
patch.
like combat missions and things
Okay.
like that to interact
But
with all of the different
they
areas
might
of the
introduce
systems
things
that we
in
provide.
stages.
But the future's very exciting.
Yeah, that's
And
that's
these
what I
are
heard
big
too.
diverse.
And again, like
these are humongous.
that's
These
what
are
I
the
was
biggest
saying
thing we've
earlier.
done
Is
short of a landing
this
zone.
is supposed to
Yeah.
be like their
They-
biggest
they are
patch
massive.
ever?
They
You
are
know, like
microcosms
how long is
of
this
the
actually going
entire
to take to push out? Like
Star Citizen
it's
FPS
good that they're building
experience. When I say
hype,
FPS, I mean
but eventually
playing
that
time in
hype's going to
spaceship.
die.
There are missions. You'll get missions that will take you to these places. You'll go to these places to take to get missions that take you out. Some missions we'll be talking about these on ISC in just like 2 weeks, so I don't want to spoil everything. But some of the missions
What the hell's IST?
are
We gotta get in
self-contained
on that.
within the distribution center. They're that big that you can do the entire loop.
Space
within the
Bear.
distribution
Sorry.
center.
Yep.
Hi, Daisy.
It has
I have
udders.
no idea.
They really are an exciting new addition, and in 323 is not the end of them. Like I said, 323 is not the end of anything like this. They will continue to evolve beyond that. It's one of those things. I don't think we're ready to share that just yet, but there are some exciting plans for distribution centers. Beyond 323.
Yeah, but how can you do more with a warehouse? It's a pretty straightforward building. Like we can sit here and speculate on it, but like I don't think that there's
From there,
much you
let's
can
move on
do
to
with
some
it. It's
ship stuff.
Dude, you can put shops in there at some
What
point.
did it say?
yeah.
Quest givers,
Wow, the Star Citizen Live
bosses.
Set has come such a
Yeah.
long way, says
they could
Old
take
Boy.
they could take it over.
Yeah,
Have you have to
tried.
come and
tried.
take it back.
Yeah,
All kinds of stuff.
like the stuff we already do with
So we've been
bunkers.
talking about mastermodes again.
Yeah,
Mastermodes
yeah.
almost-
No, and that's what he was
actually,
just
we've been talking
saying.
about
Like
mastermodes
you
for
can,
just as long as we've
if
been
it's
talking about
law abiding,
distribution
not
centers.
law
They
abiding,
first
you can
debuted
take it over.
2 Citizen Cons ago.
No, I get all that, but like
They are slated
outside
to
of what he
go in.
already mentioned, what more could you
They're slated to
actually
go
do
in,
with it?
I guess you got to tune into that episode to find out.
The vehicle experience team, Rich Tyler's
They're
team,
gonna be talking about it, he
April
said.
and all them. They're fast working on converting all of Star
Maybe we
Citizen's
can react on that as well.
existing spaceships to the master modes, defining the different archetypes. And again, we'll be talking about those in detail in ISE in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. This is not. It's taken us a while to get to master modes.
Yep.
And not
Master
everyone
what?
is.
I think you said master
I think it's safe to
modes.
say not everybody is completely on board with the idea. You know, I can read Spectrum, I can read Reddit and whatnot. There seem to be just as many people who are for the idea as against.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this.
I mean, it's a big change, right? And people are always, initially going to be resistant to it. And I think that's very, very natural because you've been playing a game for such a long time and it's such a big change.
That beard
you're
ain't
gonna have to
natural.
relearn a lot of the things that you've already learned before. But ultimately, again, this was another thing that has come around from us playing the game, especially in like combat-focused scenarios in Squadron, and going through and going, like, hey, we feel like change needs to be made. So just a very, very, very high level of what master modes are. As essentially you have navigation and 2 SCM modes that you switch between, and they have very defined purposes with how you fly your ship. And what this has allowed us to do is in SCM, which is essentially your combat mode, is we've made it so the combat is able to be a little bit tighter because we've got a bit more control over the ship speeds there. That combat is a lot more personal, a lot tighter, and we felt that it felt for a much more visceral and a lot more personal and experience with whoever you're fighting. And obviously that's translated to
Okay,
player
so
combat
what-
as well, which again we've been testing internally quite a lot.
So what that's telling
And
me
it's avoiding
is-
situations.
Sorry. Okay. So what that's telling me is, you ever play like a pirate game?
Yeah.
Like any ship battle game. So basically you have battle mode and then you have travel mode, and you're gonna have to switch in between those. So you're like, to engage in combat, you're gonna have to, half mast your sails, and that's gonna allow you to start shooting your guns and locking onto targets, and it's gonna really help your maneuverability to keep a more close fight with dogfighting. Now, if you have a gun that shoots, at a range of like 90 meters, say, probably more than that, whatever, you have a really long range gun. I think I just like answered my own question. I'm talking up my ass. So, but basically, so that's what that is to activate your quantum drive and to travel long distances. You have to be out of combat mode. So you have combat mode, travel mode. I think that's what all that is.
Mm-hmm. It's just it's like a risk reward kind of deal. You get the benefit of having better stats for combat when you're actually doing combat, but if you're in combat mode and you're trying to do something else, it's not so beneficial. You know what I mean, kind of deal.
Yeah, like you're not going to be able to travel long distances faster if you're constantly in
Right.
combat mode. And that's going to open up a lot of. I feel like that's going to open up a lot of
But what's the
opportunity.
trade-off?
Well, that I think it's going to open a lot more opportunity with your ship weapons and how you load out your ship compared to somebody else. Because right now there's only one mode, and they can just quantum. If somebody's in a faster ship already than what you are, or if you have a longer range weapon than what they do, it's going to make more combat a bit more technical, and it's going to make your loadouts a bit more important than how you fit your ship.
Well, I'm thinking about what the trade-off would be in as far as like, okay, well, I get these benefits for combat, um, and when I'm in combat mode, and I get the benefits for travel when I'm not in combat mode. Are you going to be limited to how often you can switch modes? Can you switch modes? Is there a mechanism like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't imagine they would limit when you can get in and out of combat mode. There might be a cooldown, like after you come out of quantum. There might be a cooldown for that, or maybe a cooldown to get into quantum. But there's already that cooldown with
Yeah,
what is it?
with the spool.
Yeah, spooling and calibrating.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's my thing. Like if you can switch at any time, what's the benefit? Like what's the mechanic? You know what I'm saying? If I can just switch at any time, that's not really doing anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we gave you these two modes that you can switch between, and you can switch at any time. Well, that's not a gameplay loop to me.
No, it's definitely not a loop. I think you mean mechanic, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of for it. I think I understand it, but until like it's actually put into practice, I'm kind of like against it because it's fine with how it is, you know. Um, but
I think it's cool if it gives you benefits and it adds gameplay to it. Like I said, like if they say, well, you can change, but there's going to be a timer and you won't be able to switch back into this other mode for 5 minutes or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because if you can
or,
switch at any time, it just doesn't make sense to me.
well, yeah, yeah.
All right, let's see what they have.
I mean, I don't think you'd be able to switch while you're in combat, but you have to switch to that mode to engage in combat. I
Right,
mean,
right.
they're going to explain it deeper, but
Yeah, let's see.
this is what a
We are
reaction
able
is, right?
to
Speculation.
essentially exploit
Right,
the flight
right.
system to kind of constantly play chase and not really have a proper, one-on-one combat with
That's
someone.
exactly
and
what
you're
I was
constantly running
trying
away
to
and not
say.
running away. So we felt that it was a positive change as we've been playing the game. So yeah.
I think
They're just trying to make
from my
combat
limited
more of
experience
a
with it, it gets more exciting the more players that get involved. It's certainly fun 1v1, but when the furball starts, when, we're testing some things that where more and more players are jumping in and stuff like this. And when I'm seeing the battles with like 15 people involved, 25 people involved, it keeps them all tight and
yeah.
compact.
Yep.
And literally the screen can be filled with ships this way, and it's a much more visceral experience.
It's a game changer. We've got such beautiful ships. We've got amazing VFX that when you're shooting at someone, you typically in the past haven't really been able to see because you're hundreds of meters, if not kilometers away from people. It seems a real shame to not be able to see some of that stuff. You're basically just interacting with the UI. So this bringing you closer together is just a much better feeling experience in our opinion.
So master modes.
All right, so hold on. So from my understanding of this, it sounds like the combat mode is going
Hello?
to slow your ship down.
I missed what you said. Your mic cut out.
Okay. It sounds like from what I can understand that in combat mode, your ship is going to slow down. That, you know what I mean? Like you won't have access to faster speeds,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
that makes
and
sense.
that's kind of what I said at first, and like the first part of the ramble I went on
Yeah.
is it's kind of like
Okay.
half massing your ship, and that way, like he said, you're not playing chase as much. It makes
Yeah.
it makes combat more engaging rather than playing
Gotcha.
cat and mouse. And one ship's faster than the other ship. It makes your loadout a lot more important. What people's been saying in game, because you got me obsessed with this game and I haven't been able to get out of it. What the general chat in the game's been saying, and a couple people on Reddit, is they're worried that the light ship meta, I guess the light fighters are gonna be the meta for them is gonna be taken out. They're not gonna.
Oh, yeah.
So what it's gonna do, in the grand scheme of like big battles, is your ship is going to be playing a more important role. There's not going to be a solo meta ship, or there's not going to be like, a squadron of 100 light fighters or 100 heavy fighters. It's your ship is going to be more in tune to what your ship is designed to do. That's what they're
Gotcha.
aiming to do. I think.
Yeah. And I like the visual of what they said too. It brings things closer together. Let's see what
On
else you got to say
track,
about this.
323.
At the moment, yeah.
Mark it off.
And we want a lot of feedback, so and we will get it, I'm sure. But yeah.
So that's supposed to be coming in this patch
Along
too. So
with
that's
master
cool.
modes,
Yeah.
some other ship-related stuff, precision targeting, precision targeting, and a big change to gimbals and weapon
Yes.
gimbals. What can you tell us about this?
So precision targeting at its very core is very similar to what you would do in a first-person shooter. You take time to aim, and it kind of almost helps you be more accurate. So what you can expect in the ships is a immediate zoom. So I know we've got a system where you can scroll in and zoom, and it's maybe a little bit awkward to try and use. This is a more toggle in, toggle out of zoom. So again, you're going to be closer anyway through master modes coming in. This is more a case of you're closer already, and now you're zooming in on your target, you can see much more of the ship. So if you're in a combat scenario where you're flying around and having to maneuver a lot and you're dealing with multiple targets, you might not necessarily want to use it too much. But if I'm in a situation where you're flying a Cutlass and I'm trying to take one of your engines off, I can toggle into precision targeting mode and go straight for your engines if I wanted to just take out your engines, get on board and deal
that's
with you that
cool.
way. So it's,
What's that? I missed
again,
it. I'm
leans
sorry,
more
I'm
into
on the
that
safety
closer
call.
feeling
They're
experience.
targeting
Also
targeting
helps you with
specific
aiming at
components
a target rather than trying
in
to pixel
combat.
hunt.
All right, you guys. So before we go into this section, we started up again because we had to stop, and I totally forgot to start recording. But they basically just covered the focusing system that they're going to implement into 3.23, to where you can focus on different um, components on ships in a fight. Since they're going to implement the Masters mode, I think it's called.
Yeah. So what that's going to allow us to do is, because the Masters mode, fighting is going to be a lot close quarters. It's gonna, it's not going to be cat and mouse chasing, more or less. So what the precision aiming is going to do is, because we're already close in combat and we can't, exactly like run away from it or whatever. The precision mode is going to allow us to get an even closer look at enemy ships and target specific components to their ship. Like if you want to take out their warp drive, if you want to take out their shield modules or their coolers, the precision mode is going to allow you to target each module, like their weapons.
Cool. And obviously, I like that idea. I think that's going to add a lot of emergent gameplay to the system.
Yeah.
So I think it's good.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to how it's going to affect the economy, because like I don't really buy ship upgrades. They're
Yeah.
useful and whatnot. But there doesn't seem to be a real necessity for them. But
I
if
don't
now
think
people,
I don't think this is going to affect that portion of the game. I don't think someone's going to get a cooler damaged and then be like, okay, I got to repair the cooler. Oh, maybe. I'm sorry, because you wouldn't be repairing it. You would be buying another one. So yeah, never mind. I'm sorry.
yeah, and even then, repairs are definitely going to be a thing, because like, yeah,
Well,
they're.
I don't think right now. I don't think repairs are in the game yet, unless repairs are coming in 2.323.
I mean, I've repaired a few times. Like, I sent you a screenshot earlier. My wing got ripped off of my racer.
Oh, I mean
So,
components.
yeah,
components like coolers, CPUs, gas tanks, stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't correlate that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
All right, let's continue on.
Yeah.
Dynamic crosshair, scopes, reloading, FPS weapon stuff. Go. What you got?
Oh, how long we got?
Going back to your old stomping grounds here.
Yeah, I mean, so please stop me if I go too technical
Okay.
or go too deep on this, because obviously this is kind of my jam. So, God, where do we start? So let's start with reloading. So the changes or improvements to reloading, as we've been calling it, have again come through the necessity of change through playing combat in Squadron a lot, very focused combat areas where we're able to really hammer out some of the basic combat mechanics, where we were in situations that were getting frustrating, and we were essentially playing the game, as most people probably know, engage in the FPS combat. If you reload...
Wait a minute. I'm sitting here thinking about this. There is a game that allows you to do that right now, a space sim that allows you to target different points on a ship. I don't know what the name of that game is. If anybody knows the name of that game, drop it in the comments.
I mean,
there's a game that allows you to do that.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Like, I think, doesn't Eve let you do that? There's this one mobile game that allows me to do that, but they're not like first person space.
No, I get
simulators.
that, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying I've seen that mechanic, which to where you're zoomed in on the ship, and then you get to target its specific components. I think Elite
World of
Dangerous does that
Tanks?
too.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm talking about space sims. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I
You
get
save
you.
your ammo pool to your
Yeah,
magazine,
no,
that goes back on your suit.
I haven't played Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous has that mechanic in it, but you don't zoom in on the ship or anything like that. I don't think you kind of pick the components from a menu. But this sounds like you're actually visually looking at different components and targeting those specifically. Yeah.
You might then end up in a situation where if you want to put more magazines on your suit is now completely full, and you can't put more on unless you swap them out, and it's a very sticky,
tedious
Yes, I hate
process.
that
Yeah,
system.
so essentially we're trying to remove steps there,
I
rather than
don't-
get rid of
I don't-
the realism that you
I
have
don't know,
with
I don't-
basically having magazines that contain the ammunition. We want to keep that, and down the line we may still want to lean into doing the magazine stripping through a proper animated system. What we really wanted to lean in to at the moment is just an ability to be able to condense the amount of ammunition down that you've got. So that's what we call ammo repooling. And that is an interaction either on the weapon or in your inventory that lets you essentially go, this weapon, I would like to condense all of the magazines for that. Your character will play an animation while it's happening. It's quite a basic one. And then it will take a varying amount of time depending on how much ammunition you're shifting. So if I'm doing LMG
Oh,
mags,
okay.
that
So
will
they
take longer
already
than,
have
if I'm
the
doing
system
pistol
built.
magazines
They
that
just
might
need to
only have
implement
10
it
bullets
and
or
test it. Okay.
and of course,
So
again, we don't
yeah,
wanna
so
cover
that we're able to reload magazines now.
we
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
save
yeah.
some stuff for
That
Torsten's
is
team.
that's huge.
Yeah, it is,
Because
especially if you got magazines in your bag, you can just condense those into the ones that's on your person. Yeah, it sounds like
yeah,
yeah, that's cool. I like that.
yeah, no, for sure. Because I've been doing a lot of bunker missions over the last few days, and I don't know how many, you know, seven out of 30 mags I have.
Yeah.
It's I have
No,
been littering the
I
planet
get it.
with unused mags.
And I haven't done any extensive fighting, and it's tedious even for me. So I know it must be crazy for people who do a lot of it. So
when he's on in a few
Yeah.
weeks. This is a weird show. This is not a show that we've done before. We're essentially spoiling the entire season of Inside Star Citizen this quarter. If you haven't figured that out.
so that's what ISC is, Inside Star Citizen.
Oh, okay.
So this is
I
basically
didn't know.
everything
I
that
thought
you
it was
expect to
just some
see
other
on
podcast.
Thursdays, for the next
Yeah.
9-10 weeks as we go. Dynamic crosshair.
Okay, dynamic crosshair. So again, this came through necessity from playing combat so much. It was essentially a situation where you don't always have time to aim. Sometimes you want to just shoot your gun in a desperate situation, and it's really nice to have an indicator there of where it is you're going to shoot. So we came up with the dynamic crosshair. It essentially gives you an idea of what sort of spread you can expect from your weapon, and we essentially simulate spread through a spread cone on our guns, just because we don't want the gun shaking all over the place to kind of generate it. So we do add some spread on there, and essentially the more you fire, obviously it changes, the more unstable it is. The dynamic crosshair basically tells you where you're going to be shooting. Now, what we've done, and this kind of leans into some down the line armor gameplay that we're going to be leaning into, where we want to make the armor sets and things feel different and give them a unique purpose, is this dynamic crosshair is meant as a combat feature that you get on combat helmets. So if I'm, say an engineer or something like that, I don't necessarily need a dynamic crosshair for my gun because I'm not really going out and doing combat. You might get other benefits from wearing engineering gear or medical gear or whatever, but this is something that we're obviously leaning into long term, and this is one of the first features that we're bringing out for combat suits.
And we'll save
That's really cool.
scopes. And
So that's
specific
something
combat suits.
for Torsten and their teams.
Yeah.
I do want
Well, helmets.
I do want to clear something up. I can see the chat right now. And even if I couldn't
that's
see the chat, I
and
know
that's
what's
really
happening.
cool.
He said 8 to 9 weeks, and somebody's doing math.
I want to
from
pause
February
just
2nd.
real quick. So that's something that drives me absolutely bonkers about like video games, like shooters and their spread. It's when they mess with the spread, you're hip firing, and now your gun's spreading all over the place, 3 feet and out in front of your gun. Like that doesn't scream simulation to me, Like if I'm gonna hip fire like a shotgun or an assault rifle or something, I expect that spread to be way further out, at least 25, 50 meters than it actually is. I don't know. I'm that makes me nervous because that's just like a little pet peeve of mine about.
So you're saying that's so you're saying so I'm they're not going to do that?
No, they just said that they're going to add more spread to the guns, or like instead of the gun shaking and that being the spread, like if you're full auto and LMG, the gun vibrating and shaking is what's current with adding the spread, which is I feel like how it should be. They're going to just add their own spread to it on top of that, and that combat helmet is going to help you get a better idea of where that gun is spreading the bullets, and that makes me nervous because games don't have a real awesome history with trying to simulate bullet spread. I don't know. That's just me though. Like, it's just a little.
So you're saying
pet
they
peeve of mine.
shouldn't have? You don't think they should have this spray?
If it, hopefully it's not as extreme, but yeah, I don't think that they should tweak with it. I think they should allow the gun to do the spreading as as guns do. But I don't know. It seems awesome though with the combat helmets and all that. Like that seems really awesome and promising. So you can go ahead and hit play. I'm sorry, unless you got something to add.
Oh no, if whenever you're
February
have something
2nd?
to say, definitely go ahead and pause.
February 2nd to try to figure out when Alpha 3.
Yeah, it might not be exactly what I was trying to say. I have
do
trouble
that to
putting words
yourself.
together, but
I'm just pulling numbers out of how many episodes that I have planned ahead and stuff like that. That's not any indication of when the patch is going to come out. Don't do that.
oh, what did he do?
Just enjoy
He put
life.
out a number.
Be in the moment.
He put out a number.
Enjoy
No.
all
You
of
put
this
out
that
a
we're
number.
talking about that we're shooting for Alpha 323, and don't spoil the
so they
experience for
clearly don't
yourself
have a date
by
on it.
putting dates on things and trying to reverse information that doesn't exist. I don't know what voice that was.
You hear that? The update doesn't exist. This is all fluff.
It's possible I've been doing this too long, JJ.
Maybe. And it's only the start of the year.
All right. You mentioned the combat helmets, and so sorry. Let's talk about the visor and lens stuff. In ISE yesterday, players saw a little bit of the 3D mini map and the corner and some visor stuff. 323.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so basically visor and hood is going to be a big restyle.
Wait, mini
So,
map. It took me a
think
second to
the
comprehend what
big
he
task
said.
at the moment is restyling it for the
Why do we need a
universe.
mini map for?
Yeah, just a few features essentially. We have like the existing hint system that we've got in game. That's all being tidied away into the new notification system that we've got with high and low priority notifications, where we've got some really nice visuals for those. We've obviously got the newly reworked, I'm going to call it like the combat stack. That's what I quite like calling it.
Yeah.
No one else calls it that, but basically it shows you where all your ammo is, gives you all your feedback for your weapons, changing items, things like that. Shows you what's in your hands.
Let's make it a thing. Let's all agree to call it the combat stack for JJ, who's doing such a good job here today.
Then on the left-hand side, we've obviously got all the widgets for things like your health, the environment, wheel for the all that sort of stuff.
Customize this
We've got
experience.
the or use the other
Compass
interactions
going
on
into
specific
items,
which
is
is all there.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, a
It's
compass
like
would be
the compass
huge.
with the
In the video,
so you're not
you can already see it.
accidentally clicking something on a condensed.
Actual compass?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what he said.
YouTube, Spectrum, and whatnot.
No more which direction am I going?
Looked around.
I can go that's north.
Well, not north in space,
On
but,
everything.
you go
Is
to
that going
vary.
to happen every single time a
I'll
player
take
looks
it.
around
No
at
from the
everything?
planet.
Is that a
You happy?
toggleable thing?
Okay, good.
That's awesome. Okay, so we're getting a compass, so we're getting a mini
And then
map.
obviously
I'm
one of the biggest ones
obviously
is the mini-map.
more
And
excited
the mini-map
about
is,
the compass
amazing.
than I am the
It
mini
really
map.
is.
Why
And
do we
it
need a
links
mini
into
map?
what we're
I don't
doing,
get
We
it.
can talk about it in a little bit with the star map on the Mobiglast 2, which is basically the area map. I'll make very clear now, we're not doing all locations.
Yes.
uh,
I was
with
just about to
the-
hit that.
With the mini map, because obviously there is a lot of space and areas to mark up.
Yes, I was going to say, let's talk about that. The minimap does not just exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Every single
I mean, I could
location in the
get down
Precision
with the
universe
mini
has to
map
be marked
in
up
like
in order to feed that
in
information
like a
to
terminal.
I'll go ahead and say, because I talked to John Crew about this just yesterday, the
What you
ship team
doing?
is working diligently to get as many of the ships as possible marked up
Yep.
for 320.
Same with landings.
Are you talking to me?
Explore your ships
Yeah.
with the mini maps and stuff,
Oh,
and then maybe a
I'm
couple
watching.
locations here and there.
Yep.
And then that will just continue. Patch
I don't know. I'm super
will
excited
continue to
about
mark
that.
up
A
more and
compass?
more
It's going to be
Yeah.
until
huge.
eventually
We've been
all
wanting.
the PU reaches parity.
Yeah,
So
I
it's gonna
don't
be really
see
easy to
how.
find your way around
I've never-
everywhere once it's done. So
I don't know.
It's just
It's
gonna
never
be where
really
you are,
like
where you want to go.
bothered me to
set a
not
route,
have one.
All of that good
Yeah,
stuff.
but have you played in a group or been in like PvP or anything like that? Because like if there's an enemy shooting
I
at
don't know where you're
you
going to go with this.
You don't know where we're going to go.
off in
yeah,
a
no,
hill
okay, nice,
somewhere,
that's
Should we
yeah.
lay- should we
and
lay it
they
up?
say he's over there, we don't have a heading for over there.
Star
he's
map.
up that mountain by that rock, you know. I think it would be better,
So big
I think it'd be
quality
more
of life
efficient for like
improvement from where we're at right now. And again,
group things.
Oh yeah,
we're
absolutely.
changing it because
Like,
it's the current star map is difficult to use. It's not clear. You don't get enough feedback. Like some
I'll
things are
say
broken.
that's what they need to fix. That star map.
Things are broken, yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
But yeah, we've spent a lot of time on styling it, making it very clear, making it very easy to use.
Yeah, that
Done a
star
lot of
map's
testing
trash.
ourselves of just playing around with it. We've added some new features to it too. So essentially, a estimated travel time if you set a route to somewhere.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Functionality, which is all fairly basic to start with. We'll obviously come back more on that later, but down the line. But essentially, if I want to go to Hurston, I type in Hurston. It takes me to Hurston on the map, and I click set route, and then I go. Like it's you know.
I don't understand. Why can it be so easy? I don't understand.
That's how it is in every other game.
Yeah, it's
for real.
That's how it is on
very excited about it.
on Eve. You just type in where you want to go, and
though, JJ. What am I going to do with all my traumas?
You have to find new ones. That's what you have to do. Create
Yeah,
more.
for sure.
That's true.
Oh no, that's pretty huge too.
And then
I just hope that I just hope that we can actually click on a
let's just
planet
go way
and
to
it
the
not
other
just
end
vanish.
of technical stuff. With a little thing showcased by Sean.
It drives
Tracy
me nuts when I
and
zoom into
Andre,
something and half the
says
planet
it's great.
disappears.
Yeah, that's
Character custom.
yeah. If they
And I
it
need-
don't matter if you can.
Cool.
Well, I guess it matters if you can type
So
stuff in
along
because
with all the
that wouldn't happen
new
anymore.
scans
But
of
still, that needs to be
characters
fixed.
and
Yeah.
all you basically
Well,
look
they said
for
they give it a whole new look
customize
and
from.
whatnot, so
Yeah,
hopefully.
you've got basically two ways of customizing a character now, which is very exciting. You've essentially got something that allows you to do a DNA blend, which is that's what we call it anyway. So you're basically taking your head on one side, which is what you currently have. There's basically a bank of heads on the other side that you can flick through and look. I like these particular features, and what you can do is you can select one, go, I like this person's nose. I can then go on my slider 0 to 100% and go, I want to go all the way to having their nose, and I want to go all the way to having mine, or I want to go somewhere in between. So it
Their
blends the
character
two
creation
shapes
system
together.
is shit.
And you can do that
Is
for the
it?
entire
Like
head.
I do
with ears,
not like it,
nose,
man. It is the
eyebrows,
worst
think it's-
system
lips, all that
I've
sort of stuff.
ever
The
used.
second way of doing it,
For-
which is a
for
very
real?
cool one,
Yes.
is,
I think
the
I
worst.
think
ended up
I
calling
think
it,
it's
but
just too
essentially
detailed.
You are grabbing
That's
anchor
what I
points
don't
on the
like
face.
about it.
It's
So,
just I
let's say
don't mind
grabbed
detail
my
because I
brow
get detailed as
and I
long as the
was looking at it
system
from the
is
side and I dragged my
intuitive.
mouse
Theirs
to
is
the right-hand
not
side and tried to pull
to
it out.
no degree,
What it
man.
does is
Like
it looks through our bank of
like
heads that
there's
we've
no
got in the
clear
back end,
indication
and
of what
essentially
you're
tries to translate
what the
what is
morphing is
there
going to
to what
do
you're
at
doing
any
with the
moment
mouse.
to me.
So if I did it on my nose
That's
and
why I
pulled it
stopped.
that
I
way,
just
it would
gave
try
up
and
on
find a
character
nose
creation.
with a shape
I just
that's
picked me a
like
black
that.
dude
So
with a
you're
bald head
basically
and run with
grabbing
it
points on
because
the face, moving
trying to
the
do
mouse
anything
around,
else, man,
and
is
essentially
like
seeing it go through all of
painstaking.
these different iterations.
Yeah.
So it feels like you're
I don't like it
sculpting,
at
but you're
all.
not, if that makes sense. So you come out the other side being able to make some really, really unique characters, and we've had a lot of fun in tests trying to make Stone Cold Steve Austin.
But this system sounds like it's a little
Dave
better than what they
Batista.
got
Always
now.
try.
'Cause what they got now is just I just
It's
can't. dude.
a fun testing session.
I
You know, you
just
can
I
get
don't like
something
the
that
anchor
looks,
point system
pretty
at,
damn close.
like in
But
any
on top
game.
of that, we've got new
You know,
hair,
but
facial
I
hair,
also don't like presets
makeup.
either. I don't know. It's
The
I don't
hair is
mind
very,
the
very
anchor
cool, by the
points.
way.
I
You've
just
now got hair
mind
dye, so if I
not
really
knowing
wanted
what
to,
I'm
let's say, change my hair
doing
to
and
white,
what the
I can change
outcome
it
is
to
going
white,
to
have it
be
fade
in a
into
system
blue.
that's
I
supposed
can
to be
select how
intuitive. Every other
quickly it
system I've
fades
ever
in, if it's
used,
like a
I know
sharp
those
transition,
things. Theirs,
if it's
I
near the
don't.
root or near the tip.
Yeah, that's
There's
that's
a
true.
ton of
I
really
never
cool
looked around in
customization
it.
there.
I
Obviously,
tried to
the
make
UI
that
has had
character
a big
once when I
overhaul as
first
part
got
of that
started.
too.
Realized that it was a big pain in the ass,
Yeah.
and now I
It's
just
just-
kind of go
yeah.
with
Hope we
whatever
can
it
make
shows me.
freaks.
And that's painful to me because that's what I have to do now too. But I'm someone who would spend
Yeah.
hours making their
Yeah.
character. You know what I
Just let
mean?
him sit
I
with
would
that.
do that,
Let
but
everybody
not
Yeah.
with this system.
Yeah.
It's too crazy.
That's what he
Yeah.
said.
You can make
Not
No,
an
I like to take time too, but then it just ends up getting deleted,
Cargo.
a week later because of
Cargo's
an
getting its
update.
next big.
Oh, you can save it,
kind
though.
of push
Oh,
there.
can you?
Yeah.
What can you tell us?
I
that's
didn't know
involved
that.
there?
Yeah.
Freight elevators, obviously.
Yeah, we've got the freight elevators. We've got the basically the instance hangars. So you're going to be able to go to your own hangar. You're going to have your freight elevator. You're going to be able to.
We
spawn
used
your
to
ship.
have our own hangars a long
The
time ago. When I
core
first
part of
started
the
playing this game,
experience
you
is
had
that
your own hangar
essentially go to your
that
freight
you can
elevator.
walk
We'll have a
around and
kiosk
play
with a
in
nice
and
new
spawn
UI on
shit
it.
in.
You can then interact
now
with that to
it's
essentially go,
not that
what's
way,
in
but I
my
guess it
storage?
looks like sounds like
So
they're going back to
the
that. That's kind of
regular
cool.
Inventory area storage is going away, so it's much more physically based in your hangar storage. It's very much more personal. You then go, I want all of this stuff. Click, 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 click. you fill up or see the freight elevator filling up on the UI, you then click a button and lo and behold, all your stuff's just come out the ground. And then it's up to you to load it into your ship.
Ooh.
So as part of that, we'll also have things like hover trolleys. We've obviously got the tractor beam that's usable in there too. So you can then wheel it over, start loading up your ship. And it's a much more representative feel of what the cargo experience is going to be like long term.
It's a lot in 323.
Oh yeah.
We're not
Oh, yeah.
done. We're not done. There's a. I want to start wrapping this because I want to get to our next talking point here. We're not sharing everything that's in 323. There are still some things we want to keep secret. There's still some. Obviously, I also don't want to spoil an entire season of ISC. We've already covered so much and stuff like this. But you can also expect things like the blockade runner mission. If you remember, we covered that on ISC sometime last year, maybe in Q3 sometime. The blockade runner experience that we talked about then, that's targeted for 323. A big update to Xenothreat that we're not going to share just yet. We're going to let players, that's one of those things that we're going to let players experience.
What's a blockade?
Xenothreat.
I don't know.
And,
The blockade runner, I don't know what that is.
Sort of pre-Xenothreat thing.
So they're going to mention it and just not talk about it?
It sounds like a blockade runner.
Much
I know what a blockade
broader,
runner is in
and
most
much more
other
interesting,
games, and
personally,
that's a
from my
stealth
perspective.
type of
that'll roll out.
a stealth
that'll start
type
to roll
of
out
cargo
before
ship.
323.
Oh,
and
okay.
then into 323.
Yeah.
So
if all things go
you want to speculate on that,
as
or
planned.
I would imagine they're coming out with some kind of cargo ship
The looting
that
stuff?
is meant
The
to either
looting stuff?
evade
The
or
looting
meant to
stuff.
take on
the new looting stuff that we saw at
attacks.
CitizenCon is going in.
Because that's what a blockade
there's a new
runner
shopping
does.
app. We haven't
It's
showed that
something you
because
send into a dangerous
the guys on Team
and
Kian's team
with the
actually
intent of
are
it coming
working
out
on it
the
right
other
now.
end with
We'll be
your-
showing that in
your
ISC
cargo.
hopefully in about
okay.
5-6 weeks. When we go back to Team Kian for even more stuff that they're working on, they got a whole lot of stuff. In
So that would be kind of cool. I mean,
that
all
team.
their cargo ships now are just plain
and then,
run of the mill. We carry a lot of stuff. We don't have
some
no guns or a
economy
lot of
stuff.
shields or anything. This may be something
doing
with
this a
either
long
a
time.
bunch of shields
We
or
haven't
maybe
had
stealthy. That would be
we
kind of
haven't
cool.
talked a whole lot about economy stuff, and it's rolling MMOs and stuff like that. So for the economy stuff, we're actually going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring in 2 members of our economy team who have never been on video before. We've never actually.
This is what you've been talking
put
about,
a showcase
the economy.
on the people who were down in the economy stuff. So we're going to do that in a minute. So
I'm really curious in that because like I want to trade with other players. You know, I want it to feel like an MMO that I can trade with, that I can do stuff with.
More stuff coming out for 323.
So maybe
Like-
stay tuned.
Maybe they'll touch on that. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
All right, we could probably skip through the
Well,
And
there
we're
we go.
back. Hi,
Oh,
everybody.
fair enough.
That was quick.
We're talking
Yeah, for real.
about all the cool, awesome. I was going to say a swear word, and I already used my one yesterday. Being here for Alpha 323, joining us now are members of our UK economy team, Andre and Nick. Nick, how you doing?
Hello. Hello. Thank you for having us.
Anyway, so this is your first time on any kind of
Yeah.
video stuff. Economy is not a
gonna
topic
edit
we
that out.
often talk about on our video stuff. It's not a particularly visual topic. So, but there are some there's some big changes coming in 323, and then we'll continue on to 4.0 and stuff. So we wanted to start.
Look
this
at those
conversation
suspenders, though.
That will continue.
Listen,
in
if
the
my
weeks,
man ain't
leading
ready to
in.
yodel, I don't know who is.
Before we get into that, let's introduce yourselves. Let people know who you are and what you do. So, Andre, you're closest.
sure.
So we'll start with you. Who are you? What do you do?
I am Andrei. I'm the lead economy designer.
The lead economy designer. What does the lead economy designer do?
Okay, I'm glad we have a translator, dude. His accent's thick. Like I'm not even trying to meme. I'm not even trying to meme. I'm not trying to like
Economy is not cool.
be
I've done all
funny.
my spreadsheets, so I'm going to prove you wrong.
Spreadsheets.
You just live your life in spreadsheets.
Of course.
Okay. Nick,
Yeah, hi, I'm Nick, and I am one of the economy designers.
you looked at your notes for that, didn't you? I saw you.
I just-
All you had to do was say your name and
Just
what
to,
you did.
just to be sure, just got to be certain. I've got based in Manchester studio here, but I figured that was unnecessary. So
And of course, the economy team is not just you. You're just the 2 who were drafted to appear with us today. Who else is on your team?
There's actually 3 of us. We have Connor in the US. Hello, Connor. He's probably
Connor.
most certainly watching us right now live.
yeah.
You say one thing to Connor before we continue. What would it be?
Sorry.
No, it's all good, man. I'm trying to really focus
Oh yeah, we
like
should
on what
know.
you're saying.
It would be well done on other systems.
Oh, ominous. I like
That's
it.
it.
All right,
That's it.
so let's talk a little bit
The
about
economy is
'cause
economy.
I mean, everybody knows what the textbook definition of, I shouldn't say
Is that what
everybody.
he said?
Most people know
Pretty
what the textbook
much.
definition of the word is. As it applies to video games, I think it's easy to just assume it's the prices of
Oh
things.
my
and
God.
that's it.
You
But
okay?
we know that it's more than that.
Yo, this is so
what is
funny.
economy as it applies to a large-scale, open universe MMO like Star Citizen?
I completely agree with your statement. First of all, of course, it includes the.
I mean, in a
option,
nut,
but, at least
in a
almost-
nutshell, that's pretty much what he said.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah. This dude with his suspenders, man. I can't. I can't even keep a straight face and like listen to him talk. Oh my God, he's hilarious. Oh, he's so funny. Oh, I'm crying over here for shit.
And that's crazy because he's not trying to be funny. All right, he's trying to talk about the economy and why he's keeping us out of a recession, and we ain't going back to the 19 goddamn 20s.
That would explain the suspenders, but it doesn't explain anything else.
Well, they
okay.
got spreadsheets. The economy is doing well in some places.
Spreadsheets.
Yes, yes.
All right, I'm gonna try this again. All right, let's. Deep breath. Okay, all right, let's do it.
Itself, it's a bit more than that. It includes telling a story, but instead of using nice pictures, instead of using words, we are telling a story with numbers. We want to make sure that everybody is immersed in the world. They are having fun.
So I'm
they make
wondering.
progress. Everything that they are doing not
I-
only makes
Wonder away.
I don't know if it would eventually. I imagine it would eventually be a thing, or if like it would be a thing anytime soon. But like, imagine a stock market that you can invest into, like other people's orgs, or
People do
in-game
that.
economy orgs.
Eve
like-
Online has that, dude. They have
Yeah,
craziest
Eve has it.
in-game-
Yeah,
Okay, you talking about? I'm sorry, my bad.
yeah. I'm talking about Star Citizen here, not Eve.
No, I thought you were talking about just in general. My bad. I didn't.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't-
yeah. No, I know Eve does like stuff like that and whatnot.
Okay.
But they're on a. But that game's been out for 25 years. It's on
And
a
Eve
more
has-
massive scale.
It has contracts, dude, where you can be like, okay, I want someone to take my stuff from this place to this place, and then put it out there on the message board and in game, and someone in game will pick it up, and you just, oh my God, it's so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as economy goes, if you like economy and selling and buying
And-
and crafting, which
and I
surprises
imagine-
me that you don't like Eve, considering those are all the things you like
It's not-
in gaming.
No, it's not that I don't like Eve. So no, I don't want words to be put in my mouth. It's not that I don't like it. I don't like that the free to play option essentially makes you just a miner. The game costs just it's too much of an investment to actually just get into.
Yeah, I mean, true indeed.
There's-
The subscription
there's
is
no
what
real-
kind of keeps people from it. But I'm just saying, it is one of the more supremely
Like if they had
fun
more to
games
do,
for economy.
yeah. Like if they had more to do for a free account, like if I wasn't just a miner, I'd give it more of a better fair shake.
Yeah.
But I mentioned it a little bit earlier that I have this mobile game that's like a space game, space sim, and essentially what it is just free to play Eve. They have their they have their shops and ships and stuff like that, but it gives you just so much more to do than
So the thing is
what
that
Eve does as free.
so it's not that you don't like Eve. It's just that you're like the barrier to entry is just something I'm not willing to do for what you get.
Yeah, more or less, because
gotcha.
like I said, it is free to play, but it just forces you to like only mine.
It's not free to play, bro. It's they you can play, and that's basically
It's free to mine.
Well, no. This is how I look at free to play games, man. To me, free to play games are this way. We will let you try the game. Well, I mean, and I'm talking about just games that let you play for free that also have a paid tier. To me, the free tier of any game that requires you to pay to get everything, that's just saying we're letting you try this game for free, and we'll let anybody try it. But to play it, you got to pay your money. Like, you ain't really playing the game if you're paying for free in those type of games, to me.
Yeah, and then the time commitment, and it's.
Yeah,
I tried to get into it years and years ago, like back in my 20s.
It ain't for everybody. Like I said,
it's just.
I just know how much you like economy type stuff, and that game has the best economy I've ever known in any video game ever, and I don't think anyone would argue that.
Yeah, and it really does.
Yeah.
But it's just, but I'd like to see some of those economic systems come into Star Citizen. Like I said, like you said, contracts and stuff. Like, yeah, you can put up a service beacon, or you can get a hold of a guild to help you move something. But there's nothing like right now. There's nothing really to move. You can get a bunch of ore and whatnot, but that ore serves no purpose. There's no like. They have to build a supply and demand chain, and right now there's no.
Right, the game is not about doing anything other than making money to buy ships in the game. Like, you do things to make money to buy ships. Like, that's the only.
I imagine that's all it's ever gonna be.
But no, because when they put the economy in, those things that you were just talking about will come into play. Like, they'll have crafting, and then it won't be about I want money to be like I want this thing that's not a ship that I can't make myself, that someone else does, so I have to buy it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So there'll be other things to buy in the game other than ships, but right now it's just about ships. So there's like, if you go mining, you're mining to get money to buy ships. You're not mining to make anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, let's go.
A difference for the world and for the other players also makes a difference for themselves.
Would you agree with that, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely. I mean, especially with an MMO, it's all about.
So they are calling this an MMO. That's cool.
An immersive, dynamic.
100 player server
it's
MMO.
The feel that everything around you is connected, and that you're actually.
I would call it an MMO.
Progress, and so can your friends.
It's interesting to me that you use the word.
It's multiplayer and it's online.
One of the,
but
I'm
much like my penis, it's not very massive.
One of the things that I've heard CR.
You can edit that out. I'm sorry.
Mention, complain about periodically is the fact that you can buy a missile for like 500 AUEC. That's not the actual number, but it's some ridiculously low number. It's like, you can never just go into a store and buy a missile for $500 or whatever. It's like, we got to get this economy stuff done.
I mean, that is fair.
Here with 323,
but when you're buying 24 missiles or an entire rack of missiles,
and retuning all of these.
But then it's going to slow down pirating too, I'd imagine, unless you get the uber rich like salvagers. The economy is going to have to. It's going to play an effect on everybody. That's just how it is.
In a fair way for the activity they do, but also the chance to spend that UEC on something that they can be proud of.
And so, before we get into the specifics of what's going to happen in 323, when we talk about the things that are economy, obviously the prices of a thing are the economy, but the travel times, how long it takes you to take something from this to this, is a factor of the economy. Because
and what's that going to do to the ships?
Whether the payout is, whether a 10,000 credit payout is actually worth.
This is making me want to play Eve. I ain't gonna lie to you.
How long it takes you
No,
to ship that
our life is Star Citizen now.
is a factor of economy. What else am I not thinking?
You got me off Immortal.
Very good examples, and going back to immersion.
But honestly, like the whole like 10,000 credit payout, 15,000 credit payout. I understand that it's low level jobs and whatnot.
The things that we would expect to find there, and their prices to be.
I feel like I'm making no progress on these low level jobs.
They're produced. The players to have
like I need to do a lot of them to be able to afford.
0079 says he says UEC, not AUEC. Don't read into it, man. I promise. Just. Like we're sitting here, we're giving you all this actual information, and then people are like digging for like hidden information between the words. It just makes it's just going to make you unhappy. It doesn't mean nothing. Enjoy the show. All right, so in 323, the first, let's say the next kind of major push towards building
You can
this
tell this
economy
dude is
towards
like tired of
hardening
people twisting
this
his
economy
words,
that's
yo.
been,
Like you can
if
tell
you
he's
don't
like,
mind my saying,
he's
kind of
had
all
it
over the
happen
place
one
for
too
years
many
and years and years.
times.
It's going to happen.
Well, to
What are
be
we
fair,
talking
he's the
about
community
as far as what's
director.
gonna
I'd like to
happen?
get him and
Well,
Robbo
cohesive is a word
in
that
a
we
room
are
together.
using a lot.
Talk
Bringing
about the
all these
communities that they're
systems that
supposed to
our wonderful
manage.
colleagues already built, bringing them together so they make sense when they work together. You've already seen some glimpses in Pyro, in the design of Pyro, in the design of the prices of the new.
I like his haircut,
Pyro.
though,
the new
man.
prices
I love
of
his
armors
haircut.
that Nick worked
Yeah,
very
for
hard
sure.
on them.
Like, are we talking
They're
about
working on
Pyro the
weapons,
Dragon?
on
That
the
guy?
weapons,
system.
rebalance, vehicles, ships. Eventually,
Wait,
we're going to
like
do a patch
not
on
Stanton system, but a
everything.
second system?
Yeah, it's called Pyro. It's a outlaw system
Oh.
too. It's supposed to be an outlaw system.
When's that supposed to happen?
People were playing in it not too long ago. They opened it up. You can see
Really?
the jump points on the map.
Ah,
There's like-
so
there's like
I never really
2 or
go
3
to
of
the
them.
edge of the maps, like Grimhex and all that. I never really go there. I have no
Oh
reason to go
yeah,
there.
dude, do it for sure, man. Because that's where you get some of the cooler gear.
Is
You know?
Grimhex?
Well, I
Okay.
mean that's
Or-
where I found some of the most cooler gear is out there. And some of these outposts have really cool gear that you won't get in the main stations. But that's why I go there. But I've been there doing box missions though, because I don't go just to be going. But yeah, man, yeah.
So armors, weapons.
Let's say it one more time. This dude's haircut is nice. Those suspenders, I don't know, but that haircut, yeah.
Probably the one that most people will notice right off the bat is ships and vehicles.
He needs to comb
Like-
he needs to comb it back, not to the side.
I don't know,
that's
man.
how.
I'm liking that to the side. It's almost like Vikingish. You know what I'm saying? Well, one side is shaved, you got the other. You know what I mean? I'm liking it. I'm digging
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So there's going to be
He look like he got some Sperry's on too. My man with the shits. He with the shits. he be yodeling, but he with the shits.
a substantial change to the prices of ships and vehicles in 323. We're not going to ask you for specific numbers here because 323 is still many, many weeks away, and it would be a
Weeks.
pointless
You
thing
hear
to have
that?
right now.
You hear that?
But
Weeks.
talk to me
Okay,
about the
alright,
process.
okay.
How are you
Now that could
determining
be
what these
that
new
could be
prices
1 month.
are
That could
supposed- are
be
going to
2,
Dude,
3.
I'm telling you, this shit ain't coming
There's
till
not a
next
good
month.
way or a bad
This
way
pro- it's
to-
probably
to
coming
do
Next
first
month?
week.
You think
Yeah,
it's gonna be
probably-
that soon? Next month?
I'm gonna call it
You're-
right now. I'm gonna call it right now. First week of March.
I don't know. I mean, that it sounds realistic and it sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say April or May.
Really?
Yeah, because like
He
they're
said
just
weeks. You talking about months?
because weeks could be months.
That's true. Good point. Good point.
And like they announce a patch and it takes them most of the year just to get it out. Like I don't know, just their track record, their history of what I noticed.
All right. Well, I'm calling it March. Yeah. I'm thinking it's gonna drop March.
Like
And
I'm trying to
you're saying-
think. Like
you're saying when?
well,
April?
yeah, like
May?
April, May.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll say May.
we'll revisit
I'll,
this.
I'll give. Yeah.
We'll do predictions.
Yeah, I'll say May. But
Alright.
when they did their
Some
persistent universe with salvaging, like their update where ships and stuff stay in the world, and that cup you dropped on a moon, stays
Yeah.
there until how long did it take for that patch to get out after they announced it? Quite a while.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
So
And
that's what I was talking about in the beginning of the episode.
Vehicles,
Yeah.
Is,
for
you know,
example,
that's one of my
it's something
worries.
that we look into. We could take each individual vehicle or ship and disassemble it into its stats. How fast does it accelerate? How fast? What is its maximum speed and mass and everything? But because that is subject to change, we don't want to tweak those prices every time a small change is made. So for that reason, we take those factors that we know.
Why not just have a player
already
control
decided on.
economy?
I mentioned already manufacturers. Some manufacturers put more care into
Let
their
players
You can't-
craft their
work. They use
systems.
better materials.
That's what I was
They
about to say,
use,
crafting that in the
better
game, yeah, so you
technology.
can't have that.
They use alien technology that is harder to get.
That's what the
informs
people want,
price.
though, is
Obviously,
crafting.
if a ship is
Yeah.
larger, it's going to cost more.
Gotcha. And if it's
That
straight,
there's things we mine. Let me
I would not confirm or
produce
deny
them
that.
into parts. Like
so-
let
so-
me
so ma- so
take over a
manufacturer
distribution
is
center, and
one
now I have access
tenet.
to a production
What else is a
line
factor?
to
I
craft,
don't think
Part of
craft is
the-
coming
the
for
ship,
years.
No,
its
it's not.
focus. So the same way a tank is more expensive than a lorry, the same
But
way we
even a
expect
bare
combat
bones
ship to
system
have,
for crafting.
better
Let me collect
technology, better
wires.
armor,
Let
better
me
stats
collect
on
circuit
average
boards.
than a truck.
Okay. So it sounds like, if I'm understanding you right correctly, in 323 there's going to be a massive change to the in-game cost. And I want to make sure that we're talking. This is a development thing. It's not a marketing thing before the friggin' Reddit threads start up. This is going.
He's
through
so
and
over
working
it.
the in-game.
Yeah, I told you.
economy,
He
and
done
realigning
had
the
one
ships
too many
based on
comments.
Manufacturer.
One too many
a
words be
roll
twisted.
size,
He's
roll
like,
size.
I'm gonna
I
stop
did
these
ask
bastards
you if
before
you
they get
could give us
started.
some examples. Now, these are not going to be
That's the
final
way to go about it.
Obviously, again, the changes won't happen for several weeks yet. But just to help us illustrate, to help us prepare for what kind of stuff you're talking about. Were you able to get some examples?
Yes,
for us? Okay.
I watch your show, so I see that you have a Pisces there.
No, yeah.
So the rescue one.
Oh, it
because
is-
we
it
want
is
to make
the,
more affordable.
CA.
The R,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because myself, I see
Well,
myself
wait.
playing as a.
Is
a medic
Pisces
in
the brand
future.
of ship?
I made
'Cause
it a
there's
bit,
the
a bit
C8X.
more,
Is that also
it's
Pisces?
called the
so
Pisces
it's going to be
C8X,
in the range of
C8R.
$500,000 USC, Alpha USC.
They're both Pisces.
And
So you're saying something like the Pisces might actually go down?
I thought
yes,
I thought
price.
Pisces was
the,
like
the Pisces rescue.
well,
is
then
going
I
to be
want
a lot
my
more,
money back.
affordable
I pledged
than
$65 to
it
have that
was.
shit.
I can
You
give an
got
example
a
of my
Pisces.
favorite ship. We can
Yeah,
argue
for
about that in
$65.
the chat.
If the price
It's
is
the
going
Arrow.
down, I want
really
some of that money
like the
back.
Arrow.
Oh,
It's
Or
going to
give
be
me a
in,
land vehicle as
in
compensation
the
for
range of about
dropping
2
the price of
million,
the
USD.
They're talking about
Pledge.
It's a
they're talking
combat
about
ship,
in-game
it's high
prices.
performance ship. So
Yeah, I know.
obviously, somebody that can drive that ship worked very hard to get that ship, and they can be proud of owning that ship.
Those seem like
Okay, so
kind of
missions pay less,
lower-
ships
low
get more
entry-level
expensive.
ships.
Yes.
Can we talk about something kind of mid-range, like a
Is that what he
Connie
said?
or-
A Connie,
Nah,
it's a
nah,
very good
actually,
example
said the
because
exact
a lot
opposite.
our players like that.
But
ship.
the larger
I think
ships
it's
are
in
going to
the
get
range
more
of,
expensive.
10
The entry level
million,
ships are going to get cheaper,
Cool.
which
Maybe
is
going back
awesome
into
because more
combat,
people will
something
have
even
more
larger,
access.
I
and,
don't
Yeah,
know.
man. You want more people riding these ships.
It's going to be
Yeah, for
about,
sure.
45
100%.
Some ships are not even like
it's a ship
you know, you
that
want a
Accessible,
lot of ships.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
multi-crew
You want them to be
ship, so I
more
can
ships to
see
be more
players
accessible.
pulling their resources
Yeah,
together
yeah.
to buy such a ship.
Gotcha. And this is, you're using the words "it's going to be" and stuff like this. This is what we're working towards. This is what we're currently working towards. Of course, with feedback and testing and stuff, the numbers may change and whatnot. Of course, 323 is not the end all be all for anything. It's like obviously these things go in. We get player feedback. We do the testing at full scale, and then
It's only the
adjust,
first,
and then adjust and continue.
It's only the
adjusting.
first pass the economy team is doing.
But this is all this is a conversation that's that's been waiting to happen for years and years. Like we've always. I don't think it's been a secret to anybody who's played Star Citizen that like I said, the economy has always just been kind of this. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We're here. We're getting to it now, for lack of a better term. So Alpha 323 is that next.
I don't
push.
think
It's
the
not
economy
last
will
push. It'll continue to
truly be
balanced,
fixed
continue to
until it
evolve.
becomes player controlled.
I'm going to ask you for like okay. So we
Well, I
we
mean, I
did-
don't know about
we did
that,
a, we
but
did a
I know that it
Pisces
needs
I mean,
work.
yeah,
and an
there's
Arrow.
there's
We
going to
did
be a lot of
Constellation.
inflation
Let's
for
go to
sure
the
because
far end
salvaging
and
is
just see if we
just
can,
people are
get some
doing
of that sticker
$30
shock
million
out of the way. What are you
runs.
thinking for something like an
That's what I'm trying to get into.
For example.
For example.
You like the nicer things in life.
Oh well, I'm just trying to work the sticker shock here. So Origin, fancy manufacturer,
Yes.
890, super big on the size. What are you thinking? And I'm just gonna hold my
$1,100.
Let's make a list. Do you want gold on the walls? Do you like the marbles in the bathrooms? What do you need?
Give me the worst case scenario. What are we thinking? Worst case scenario.
No, we are talking about luxury. We are talking about Origin, a manufacturer that it's famous for putting so much care and so much quality in their ships, and I'm thinking in the range of 70 million USD.
Okay.
somebody that has
He just said okay.
they can be proud of it.
Yeah, you can't just
We know
let
people
any
who
old
sell virtual
schmuck
kidneys.
drive a yacht, I guess.
Yeah, word.
Look at him. He's the FPS guy.
Not yet.
Is that coming in 323?
No.
We can balance the price.
I don't want
not
the
yet.
I don't want the 800, but I do want the 600.
Maybe harvesting.
I want to know what's up
Maybe
with
we
these
could
space eggs they keep
sideline
talking
and
about.
Got a multi-tool.
That's what the multi-tool is for. All right, so obviously, these are the prices that we're currently thinking. This work is ongoing and will continue until Alpha 323 releases. Once it releases as part of Alpha 323, it will continue to be evaluated.
Yep.
It'll continue to solicit feedback, continue to look at analytics, all that good stuff, and make adjustments as necessary. Because that's what you do with a live service game. You make adjustments as necessary.
Is that what he's calling it? A live
so
service
much for-
game?
This was again, like I remember, coming
I'll-
like, hey,
You know what? I'll meet them halfway and call it a life support.
You were very
service
you since the first time I ever met you. You're like, I want to get on there and start chatting with people.
No, he said live. Oh, did he say live or life?
Feedback as soon as possible.
Live.
That's the reason.
Okay.
That's what we like to hear, Andre.
But it's on life support. That
yeah,
life.
for
Guys,
sure.
thank you so much
Okay, gotcha.
for being on the show. Is there anything, JJ, anything more we want to say about 323? Let's go back through the list real quick.
I joke
So
and I
right now,
kid,
targeted
but
for new-
obviously, like everyone else, I want
for
this
Alpha
game to work
320,
out. You know.
Yeah, man.
we're targeting
Huge
new
potential
EVA,
for this game.
The new
huge.
pipe piss pit, whatever the. We gotta get better.
But I mean, I can also
two
understand people's
What are we dealing with
speculation and
one?
people's
new default item actions.
their
reloading,
speculation and their
dynamic
frustrations
crosshair,
with it not being
scopes,
further along
distribution
development.
centers,
But there's
master
just so
modes,
many
precision
intricacies
targeting,
that they
turn
have to.
changes, visor and
like,
lens
this
stuff,
is so
new
informative,
looting
you know?
screens,
It
new looting
really puts it into
system, rather,
perspective, like
new
how
shopping app,
technical everything
star
that they're
map,
working on actually
character
is.
customizer, a whole bunch of things cargo, including the freight elevators and some more. The blockade runner mission stuff we talked about. Big changes to Xenothreat and these.
So what's
economy changes,
Xenothreat? I
and
forget.
that's
I
just
have
the
no
stuff
idea.
I'm willing.
I think that was one of the things he said he wasn't going to share. But
Feel good?
It's a lot to do.
It's a lot to do,
There is a lot to do.
but we're in the
Yeah, we're all excited.
I'm excited. It's building on the work that you guys have been doing for Squadron 42 for the last 2 years. The teams are working hard to convert it over. We've already got interviews in the can for ISC, for distribution centers and for master modes and stuff like that. We're going to be talking to you about all that stuff like that. So lots of great stuff coming. I hope you're as excited. Let me change the way I want to say it. I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing this I'm going on 10 years now. You've seen me here, you've seen me in LA, you've seen me in a variety of situations talking to you about this, that, or the other thing. You've seen me cautious, you've seen me with trepidation.
this is my first time
you've
seeing
me,
you, sir. So far, I like you.
Hedge my bets left and right. The last time I went full-throated into something, I ended up with a beard that was like this, and it wasn't good. I hope you can take from my own personal enthusiasm. I see the work that these guys are doing each and every day. I've been seeing the work they've been doing for the last 2 years and just waiting for the time where this gets brought back over to the PU. We're here.
PU, that
One
stinks.
Heck of a year. The Squadron team comes back with the Star Citizen team, and it's nothing but blue skies. I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say it's nothing but blue skies. Whatever. I'm getting caught up in my own hype.
Let's make some magic happen.
It's going to be a magical year. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say nothing but blue skies. Jeez, I was going to get
So
hit by a meteor
there's
when I
a
walk out
lot.
the door.
Yeah.
And lastly, before this week's show, I did want to take a few minutes to talk, if I can, as myself, not as a CIG representative, but just as Jared Huckabee, the dude that works in the game industry. 2023 was a huge year for the release
All
of
right.
video
Well,
games.
this is all the
And if
update
you
stuff.
followed any ounce of gaming news, you've probably know that it
hold on.
was one of the hardest years for those who create the video games. That struggle to stay employed has extended into the first month of 2024, as I think the last count was nearly 5,000 people have been laid off in the video game industry in the first 30 days alone.
Damn. Okay,
I
let's get into
spent
other
my-
news.
Wait, did they have layoffs, or is he just talking about across the board in
He's
the
talking about the
industry?
game industry. Game industry, yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that was an exhaustive list of stuff. I mean, they probably hit on maybe 4 or 5 major things, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to the compass, and mini maps around the stations would be nice, but I don't think that they'd be totally necessary for like the different like bunkers and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't think that we really need them there. But however the however the you know terminals that you go to, the hubs,
Yeah,
that would be nice.
I think the master mode systems is going to be my biggest thing, slowing down combat a little bit if that's what it does.
Yeah,
something a little more cerebral. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I get why they want to do it. I understand their vision, but I don't think it needs a. I don't think the system needs a rework really at all. But if they want to make it more engaging and less of a cat and mouse, like they want to make it, like, are you sure you want to do this? And like I said, it would give different parts different, more of like intricacies, I guess. Like how you fit your ship and how you load out your ship is going to play a bigger role than it currently does. I feel.
Well, we'll see. I mean, well, hopefully it comes sooner than later. But
Yeah.
we got predictions on that. But hopefully, like I said, it comes soon, and we can try these things out and test them out. And we'll definitely make a video when it does drop to kind of like confirm all of this stuff and to test it and give you our opinions on what we think about it. But yeah, so that was our reaction to the update that's hopefully coming soon. Anything you want to say else about it, or anything else you want to say about it?
No, I guess not. But really, like I said, I can see why they're bringing in the master modes. I don't think that it's really necessary, but I see why they're doing it. And the EVA system, we never really messed around with that too much to like really for it to be a bother. But that's another like welcome update. Like it sounds like the update is gonna be. It is going to be huge. It is going to be massive. Definitely, the star map is like the biggest thing that we definitely need. Like, we need a new star map. So
Yeah,
I don't
for
know.
sure.
I'm super excited for it to come through. I really can't wait to play it. He said a few weeks, or he said he didn't even say a few weeks. He just said weeks. So we'll see what his definition of weeks is and. I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
All right. Well, that's our take on the 3.23 update. For Kyle, I'm Roderick, and we'll see you guys next time.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give us what you guys think.
Absolutely. Peace.
Thank you guys for being here.